So today I'm going to be talking about just a few different types of pumps I have, and just kind of my personal experience and opinion on the pros and cons with them. So basically, this is the pump that I regularly use just because I pump so often. This is my Molle pump. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly. I think it's French. Um, but basically, it's hands-free. It's so great. You just kind of put it into your bra, hook it in, and it just pumps away. And then when you're done, you kind of just open it up, dump out the milk, and it's really great, really convenient because you don't have to do anything. You kind of forget that it's there. And I typically actually will pump longer with this one just because it's so convenient. Um, when I first got it, I felt like it didn't really suction very well as much as my other pumps did. So I usually resorted to going to my other pumps instead of this one. But again, because I pump so often, it's manageable, and the suction is pretty strong. It's very tricky to get like a proper position, so you just want to be careful with the position when you put it in. But now that I've kind of got the hang of it, I can kind of get a better suction because I kind of know how to work with it a bit more. So it's super convenient. The only thing is that I feel like it does die pretty frequently, just because for me, I'm pumping so often. I'm pumping every 2 hours for 20-30 minutes. So I think it's reasonable that it's going to die, but I usually charge it once a day, which isn't too bad. So it's not bad. The best thing about this is that I actually just pump at night with this. I keep it by my bedside. And last night I tried it for the first time. I literally just put it in and then I just rolled over and, went to sleep for 20 minutes. And then, on the other side, another 20 minutes. So it was actually so convenient that I didn't even have to get up in the middle of the night to pump. And for me, pumping in the middle of the night is super important because I'm really trying to increase my supply. So that is a really big plus. So this is the Molle. It does have two different little types of features. One is like one will go nice and slow, and then the other one will be like a small little pulse, and you can change the strength of the suction just like that. And as you can see, I need to charge it because it's red. So that's probably my favorite one in this time period, just because I need to pump so often. So the next one is this crazy guy. So basically, this one was given to me by my sister, which is great. This one, because it's great, it's a dual pump. It's the Medela, I believe. That's what it's called. And it's awesome because you can pump both breaths at the exact same time. Again, it's hands-free, it's electric, so you're not stuck to a wall. But basically, so then you just put these suction cups in, and you attach that, and the other one like that. And then you have your electric pump, which can kind of latch onto your pants, and you can just hook up your pumps just like that. And again, so this one has the same, it can just pulse fast or it can pump slow. But yeah, so this one's super good. This one actually has an 11% milk increase. So because I guess you're pumping both at the exact same time, your body thinks that you're feeding two babies, so you need to have more milk. So it has it says that it can increase your milk supply by 11%, which for moms wanting to increase their supply, any amount of milk increase is good. So I really like that. The cons about this one is just that it's super kind of bulky. Like, you can't really pump in front of people if you're a little bit more shy, I guess. or just wanting to cover up. I mean, you could actually, what I sometimes do is I put like a big sweater over, but still, it's just really cumbersome. So I personally like to use this pump when I'm just by myself. And I have a lot of time because it's a lot of setup. You got to put the bra on, and then you got to fix everything. The other downside, again, same with the Monlait pump, is that you can't really squeeze and massage the breasts to get more out, because if you squeeze the breasts, then you're going to lose the suction. So pros and cons, depends on how your milk flow is, and depends on how much you can get, whether you need to do that or not. But for me, sometimes I like to adjust it, and this one is just too complicated to adjust it and get different angles and stuff. So still really, really good. I use this for a while, but then again, if I'm gonna pump every 2 hours, this is way too cumbersome to try and get all the fixings ready and everything. So I don't really use this one at this point. My other pump that I have is my Philips Advent pump. So this one is my only wall pump, and obviously that's like its only con is that it is a wall pump. You're stuck to a wall, you can't really move. But this one, I always felt see, and then you plug it in, you have the suction cord, you pop that into there. I actually lost the silicone suction, so I can't even use this for right now, but you just put it on and you just let it pump, and then it just fills into your jar. This one I really, really liked. This is the one that my mom bought me at the very beginning when I was pregnant. I feel like it actually got most of my milk out because I was able to move it around. I was able to squeeze as it was pumping, but obviously this one is like super time consuming, and you have to hold it there the whole time. You can't even have hands free. It's a little bit cumbersome in that way, that like it's just a lot of attention you have to spend. So I found because I'm pumping so often, if I'm only pumping 3 times a day, that's no problem at all. But because I'm pumping like 8 times a day, this just isn't convenient for me anymore. But for mamas who want to pump just maybe like 3-4 times a day, like I found this one to get the most milk, just because it's so easily accessible. But again, it's very hard. This one's probably the hardest one to use when you have guests over, guests that you would rather not show anything to. So yeah, this one can get a little bit tricky, but very, very good. I really liked the suction. I felt like, again, it got a lot of milk out. My last pump, not really a pump, but thought that it still made the cut to talk about, is my Haakaa, I believe it's called. I don't really use this too much, again, because I'm just kind of in the process of trying to increase my supply. But before I stopped breastfeeding for a little while, this was a great, or even like for a new mom that is leaking a lot, this could be a really great one. As baby's feeding on one side, you can put the Haakaa on the other one. And basically how you put it on is you just flip these back, you squeeze it, you put it on your nipple, you bend the flaps back over like that, and then you let go, and the suction will draw that milk down, and it will catch a lot of milk, especially for moms that are still leaking. So this is a really great one, even for moms that aren't leaking, but as they're feeding one side, the other side might start to leak. So this can be a great catch. Some people have caught like 2 ounces while feeding on one side. Like that's a lot of milk that you don't want just leaking down your body. So yeah, so I plan to hopefully use this in the future if I ever get my supply up again. But yeah, so those are my pumps. And yeah, so my recommendation for mamas that want to pump a little bit more, probably get the hands-free one. For mamas that want to increase their supply, probably best to go with the other ones that are a little bit more hands-on a little bit more. You have to focus on them a little bit more, but they're going to increase the supply a little bit more. So yeah, those are my pumps. And hopefully going through at least just these 4 can maybe help you make a decision for when your baby is soon to come, or if you're just looking for a new pump.